We're back here at the Nexon Arena for the 4th best of 3 of the last day of Fast Lane. It's going to be the losers match here, Byun versus Patience.
That's right.
I almost said Deer, caught myself there.
Nice catch.
Yeah, this is a really rough best of 3 for both of these players. They both know if they lose just a couple of games, they're going down to Challenge, and the difference between Challenge and Premier is pretty big.
Yeah, it's obviously a huge jump in prize money, prestige, everything. So this is it, man. If you're Byun, have fought all season long to make it to the Fast Lane, and now it could all be taken away from you in one more best of 3. Patience, on the other hand, had a good start to the season, had the free win over Alive, for example, but he fell down to the end, and now he's, after a long season of hard-fought Premier, being knocked back down to Challenge.
Well, guys, we're going to be jumping into game number 1 here. It's going to be Abyssal Reef for Byun versus Patience. Fly Butterfly, Jin Air. Jin Air. Whoosh, whoosh. Down here in the bottom right. Blue Terran, it's Byun.
Still smiling. Spawn it to the top left. In yellow, it is Patience. And Dead Pixels Protoss. No Dead Pixels on his monitor, though.
I would hope not.
Full resolution. Imagine if you had a Dead Pixel right where that Widow Mine that was bird was.
Remake, please.
So, Gas first coming up here for Byun. Wants to go tech heavy as we move into this one. Byun, you know, was the really, I'd say, the real big famous, big splash player of 2016, right? Won many Player of the Year awards. Just impress everybody for having such an incredible feat of being the first Star League champion ever without having a team, without having the support of a backing of a team, to kind of doing it all on his own. Then going into 2017, still had that hype behind him. Got picked up by a team afterwards immediately, but still struggled to find the same level of results. Falling, of course, the challenger for Premier, having weak GSL results, not having any repeat finals, not really making a top 4 of any major tournament. So for him to fall out here would really reset him going back into 2018 really is where we're next likely to see him. Could, of course, make a run at Season 3 of the GSL. But chances he goes to BlizzCon, very slim, which is unfortunate considering his great BlizzCon performance last year on top of that amazing GSL run. So Byun earned himself a lot of fans. He's got a very healthy stream, but this is a big one, you know? This is one of those defining moments in Byun's career where everything built up to that GSL win. There was so much hype going to the going to BlizzCon. Very good performance there. And is this the end? Is this the end of the run of Byun that he had in 2016, 3 years after he's had his self-exile? Where is he going to end up when all the chips fall? This best of 3 could be it. Not trying to sound ominous, but you have to wonder.
Yeah. So much on the line, and they're both in the same booth.
That's right.
It's going to be awkward for whoever wins, I suppose, but they'll have other stuff on their minds. It's just the final match. Byun's first name is Kanu, right? Kanu?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a fan in the audience who was like, "Please join us on Monday." I went, you know, saying, "Okay, join Premier," you know.
Also, big tip: their names are listed on the top of the screen. Oh, you don't have.
I don't have it. Yeah.
I was
have
like,
the observer screen.
Valdez, man. I don't know. Like, I'm like, you mean like right there? Like, yours just says Byun.
Yeah. It's okay. I gotta look to the left. My fault.
It's all right.
They're clapping for me, cheering me on.
I swear, like, a bunch of people looked at me. I think they're talking about me. I don't know what they're saying.
Looks like
everyone's looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what he said. They're like talking about like my meme tweet I made in Japan. Talking about like, oh, Wolf eats Korean food. He likes it. I'm like, it's true. I love it. People think it's funny. I think it's amazing. That's why I eat it.
It is pretty good. Yeah. People really like the food when they come to Korea. Definitely would say that you should visit Korea at least once if you're a big StarCraft fan.
And like,
do it.
Don't.
Oh no! One shot, one kill.
Reaper comes in here looking for some more kills specifically as well. Already getting the 2. Looks for the 3. Not gonna have it. And don't also be that guy who Googles, like if you're staying in Hongdae or Gangnam, Googles good restaurants in there. Because every time you do that, you end up with the Western food that all the people who live in Korea are looking for. They eat the Western food. No! It's not gonna be as good as the Western food you have at your home anyways, eating Korean food.
Yeah. We had a couple of girls approach us on the street one time. They were like, how do we get to Butterfinger pancakes? And we're like, you're in Korea for how long? They're like, oh, 3 days. You're going to Butterfinger pancakes
in Korea,
you're in Korea for 3 days? You're going to an American breakfast restaurant? Are you kidding me?
A disappointment. A real disappointment.
We still showed them the way.
I didn't. I walked away.
Oh, yeah. You were just disgusted, for sure.
So, this Oracle gets just the 1 kill. First Oracle was killed for nothing. I mean, I'm not saying like life was in vain and stuff. I'm just meaning that it died without accomplishing anything. It felt like its purpose in life.
Oracle, guys.
Its purpose in life, almost indirectly, was to force Byun to put a Widow Mine there and served its purpose, and then it's no longer necessary to exist. This one has 1 kill. Third base is coming up. He's teching up, obviously, but Byun has a nice lead. And he is in a very similar position to Maru in the Daybreak game of the previous series to go for a timing attack with Stim. And eventually the Medivacs coming across here to hit that third base, punish it.
Also, the tanks are really nice, actually. You know, just the 2 tanks on a map like this with so many cliffs where you can get them into position. So we could look at the natural. You can put it on the I don't know, below the cliff, I should say. I was looking for the word for exactly what that area below the cliff is, but I guess it's below the cliff. You can put them below the cliff, and they can shoot the mineral line.
That's right. And
do lots of damage.
The Vespene Geyser, of course, the assimilator, will be under attack. A lot of sentries here. We'll actually grab the 4 Marines. The Widow Mine, though, bait was real. That's a lot of weakened sentries. They're about to pop like balloons in a second.
Waiting for that stem. 7 seconds. Oh.
Combat Shield's actually very much nearby. Nice, shuts down the run by here. Okay, Force Fields or no, man, those 1 siege tank shot will basically blow up everything. He buys some time here, forces an early siege and an early stim. He's gonna have the +1, he's gonna have blink in just a second. So will Byun, however.
0 stalkers currently. Kind of unfortunately. Obviously you can warp a couple of them in. This is what I was talking about, down the cliff, across the abyss on Abyssal Reef, and here you go. You can begin shelling that pylon not in position.
Not in range. Siege tanks will outrange that. I know it's people complain about the range of that, but it's actually not that high. Okay, Adepts, if they commit to the shade here, I was going to say it might be a bit haphazard. He might have been able to win the fight, but it would have been a good trade for Byun, who now has units over here at the third base. He's going to hit that photon cannon. Might just lift up and leave because there's very few stalkers here. There were 0 before, now there's just the 4. They have the blink. And look at this, Mothership Core's going to target down. He's not even looking.
Ooh. Byun really just out-multitasking Patience in this game, making it look pretty easy.
Going to unpower these structures potentially as well. So Forge unpowered now, so that upgrade is going to get a little bit delayed here. The +1 armor, keeping those units there for vision. This is not the same Patience that we saw throughout Premier. He looked a lot better than this. Perhaps the nerves here, the facing the reality of his mortality potentially in this tournament of Premier. It's kind of in his face right now. If he makes too many mistakes, if he cannot perform on this one day, tonight is the night that matters the most. If he cannot perform, he's out, and he's already in the loser's match. And in this first game, he's significantly behind. 24 probes killed with this push. The Oracle play just did not find value because Byun had the defensive setup with the Widow Mines. Speaking of Widow Mines, another shot goes off.
3 more probes. Easy peasy. Byun, he's back at home. He's got 3 bases mining. Has a gigantic army moving across the map. And
he can't deal with these siege tanks.
Yeah.
And he couldn't commit to that shade earlier. He could do it now. But the damage has been done. Even if he wipes everything, Byun's going to make this as cost efficient as possible. Look, there's the rest of the army even coming in for the flank. Might even be able to make this positive trade. For Widowmine's Burrow, out of range. Looks like one will fire here. He just walks into it, Patience does. And this is so cost efficient now for Byun.
Accepting his fate, essentially. Has no observer with this. Cannot see the Widowmines yet. Really in dire straits here in game number 1. And it seems like the Terrans of today are really showing up. Byun had a weak TVT, but Maru crushing Classic in the PVT, or TVP I should say, and now Byun looking to do the same in game 1. The Terran tiers, you can wipe your eyes. I don't want to see any Terran tiers tonight.
Yeah, wipe them clean. Upgrades continue. The Forge was unpowered for so long, he did finish that one, but Byun just has this super large army now. Force fields are buying time at best, so they're a band-aid solution to the bigger problem of Byun's massive control over the map. Patience has still caught up with probes a little bit after that disastrous situation that cost him money to do so. He's still behind 11 probes, plus the fact that Byun can drop mules at will. Gonna try to catch some reinforcements. Cute tactics here coming in to try to find his way back into this game. Unfortunately, though, it just feels like way too little, too late, as this will now be shut down by the reinforcements themselves that he was trying to punish. He's now half the army supply of Byun, and it feels like he's probably thinking about tactics for game number 2 at this stage. Look at the difference in production tab. Fleet Beacon, or sorry, not Fleet Beacon, the Fusion Core is on the way for the Liberator range.
As if he needs it.
I feel
like Byun is just really playing this one safe, and I don't blame him. As you said, you gave your spiel, like, this is extremely important for Byun and for Patience. But specifically Byun, a guy who was extremely famous last year, still is, a huge fan favorite in Korea and abroad. And he wants to make sure that he can close out game number 1 at least in easy fashion, safe fashion.
Go, there goes one Immortal here. GG. That's enough for of watching that slaughter. Beating a dead horse, Patience will finally surrender there at the end. How many Adepts had to die before he gave in? This is looking disastrous for Patience. Remember, when he took the win over Classic in game 2 on Frost, which was his map pick, Classic almost dismantled him with a comeback there. You know, I say somewhat sheepishly, really, it almost felt like a 3-0, right?
Yeah.
With what we saw from Classic nearly winning massively behind. In this first game, no dents made with the Oracle play. And that's going to get into your mind a little bit because that was your build, that was your opening. He already knew, he already expected he had the Widowmine in perfect position. And now you're thinking, do I change it up here? It's Newkirk Precinct, the Oracle map. Is Byun going to have his number again? It's a little bit concerning.
Liking his chances. I like Byun's chances here. Patience, we've seen him get behind and really crumble under the pressure before. And I don't want to see that, but it's kind of what I'm expecting. Will the past tell the future? Let's find out. Game number 2. Go, Newkirk Precinct. The blue Terran in the bottom right is Byun, of course. Looking stressed, actually.
It feels like the better he's doing, the worse he looks. The bottom left in blue, or sorry, in yellow. It is Patience.
This is when you guys find out Wolf is colorblind.
Oh boy.
Oh, only slightly.
Only slightly. Not massive.
It's okay.
I actually forget about it from time to time.
You don't have to use colorblind mode when you play games. Or do you?
I use it in some games actually, but not really. Red and blue and stuff like that doesn't really affect me that much. So
okay.
It's more like the difference between like a very light orange and like a yellow, or like a dark, super dark blue and like a purple or something like that. Like I think it might just be because I'm just dumb. I don't know, man. Like,
what?
I can like, I don't know. Like, when I look at the colors, I'm like, I think I could definitely tell the difference between them. It's not like I have color blindness, but sometimes I just like if I'm looking at something quickly, I just don't distinguish them as quickly as you. Like, I can't process colors. Maybe my cones are bad, but not like fully bad. I don't even know if it's possibly partially colorblind.
The cones are bad. Well, I'm from New York City. Our cones are abundant, I suppose you can say. Not sure if they're bad or good. Usually they're pretty dirty, but they're all the same color.
Orange?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I was like, really worried for a second.
Like, no, they're yellow. God, Wolf. Come on.
Well, you know, I think something to talk about here is our Korean commentators are being cheered for again here. Where's our sign?
Talking about the different positive aspects of their personalities, but the one for Kanata was that he's handsome. Seems to be a recurring theme for Kanata.
So the thing to really think about in terms of what this fast lane means is just in general the stability. You know, when you compare GSL and SSL, GSL is a tournament structure, dual tournament format. The SSL is a round robin format, so you have guaranteed televised matches. And there's a lot of teams, or sorry, a lot of players in this current situation in StarCraft 2 in Korea, like the current you know, post-Kespa era, as I like to call it. There's a lot of teamless players. Both of these players have teams. And if you have teams and you have sponsors, televised matches are the most important thing, as this fake is not going to do anything. There's no mothership core here, obviously.
Yeah.
The important thing for both these players and their teams, their sponsors, is that they get televised matches. If you win a GSL qualifier, you could get knocked out of the GSL in the round of 32. You could get 4th place in your group, and you get 1 televised match. For SSL, because it's a round-robin format, you get guaranteed, no matter what, every single week, the ability to play in front of the audience. So, and obviously the online viewers, et cetera, you're on TV, quite literal television. So it's really important for these two to make it, because challenge is just not that same amount of exposure. Nice grab there, using the shade. Here we're going to see Byun play a more Maru-esque style with the Hellions. The Reaper got caught. You see a gas steal actually happen over here as well.
Oh, good angle coming in here. Patience late on the pull of the Adepts. Lots of weakened probes here.
Okay, it doesn't get the surround.
Okay.
3 is still really good, but that could have been worse. Only 1 Marine's going to work. The rest of them are just chilling.
They're just watching him.
They're on their phones. Gonna tell them to get back to work.
It's 2017 in StarCraft, I guess.
Scrolling on Facebook.
They probably have the, you know, the interface in their visors or something.
Probably.
That's why they were still able to grab the guns.
Yeah.
And quote unquote look at their phones at the same time.
Man, what if that becomes our reality one day? Like VR headsets are just what everyone's wearing. No one ever looks at anyone else's face. And like when you have it on, when you see someone, because everyone wears them, you can see their avatar. You don't see their real face. You see what they want to show. Oh man, what a dystopian future.
Please no. We're gonna be old then.
And like there's always.
Back in my day, people were real people.
There's always ads in the corner of the screen.
Only the rich people can get the ad-free experience.
You know, I know you know exactly what I'm about to say, but you know, a situation has gone one way in a series when your plan of action is to go for a disruptor drop with Warp Prism speed.
Yeah.
These tactics have overall historically the Colossus drop, the disruptor drop. I feel like really they feel inspired by Reaver drops in Brood War. The Hellbat drops we saw successful in Heart of the Swarm. But in Legacy of the Void, the single disruptor drop against a player who is going to react very quickly. I mean, there you have it.
0 kills.
And it's not that he messed up his disruption shot, it's just that when you're the defending player in this situation, it's on you to defend. And if you do it correctly, then suddenly this becomes a very heavy investment that isn't going to allow you to protect your third base necessarily against the follow-up push that's coming out here with the Stim and the combat shields. Okay, here we go once again.
Oh, the
Depots.
block! The block!
And the cancel, he gets it as well. And if he had a Viking, man, this would be even sadder, but
look at this beast.
He doesn't even need the Viking because he's just so good at micro that he defends this without losing anything.
Well,
now has the double drop. because he's making medivacs. He's still not making a Viking. He's still not even slightly concerned about this, which he will eventually need to be if the push doesn't do enough because of the Colossus follow-up tech, which is pretty obvious considering that we went for the Disruptor tech. Looks like Byun is expecting the third base location to be where Classic put it. Oh, no way.
Oh, what?
No way.
Perfect positioning. He had no vision of where that was coming in
Well, now he sees a third base over here. Maru would attack the Colossus 100% without the Marauders even. He's not willing to do that, but he's going to back away. The next wave of 2 drop ships is coming over here with more Marauders. The combat shield's completed, and this ragtag group of units will finally have its second Colossus and the range, at least, to help defend this, but Byun's not going to give him much time. +1 attack already completed as well. Catches this probe. And this isn't even all in for Byun. He has the third CC coming up. He just wants to draw these units away. The Colossi can run right up the ramp, but everything else is going to be a little bit tougher. Sorry, up the wall. He's going to actually find himself chasing this army, which isn't going to give him any room to deal with this attack in the main base, though. Pylon will be targeted down. And yes, he gets a small win in terms of trading over on the right side of the map, but in the main base, this is much more significant.
You can kill that Colossus, I think.
He wants the Robo more specifically, and he will get it.
Good choice.
Forcing that to be remade, and this will remove all forms of AoE damage on the side of Patience. Going to start Blink out of desperation now, the +1 attack, but those 2 Colossi are the only ones he's going to have for a long time.
Byun looking to group up here, perhaps channel a bit of his Maru, and in the last game, I mean, Classic had Storm, he had Archons, he had all a bunch of stuff. And this time, Patience, he's just got a couple of Colossi, just 2.
Okay, Force Field's coming up here again. Desperation, though. It's going to buy him a little bit of time. But once the floodgates are opened here, these Colossi are going to be exposed. Overcharge buying a little bit of time, and gone with some interesting control decisions there, but we'll now avoid this and go into the main base.
He sniped all the sentries. I think he took out 4 or 5, and definitely a good catch. That's a lot of gas that he lost, but the Colossi stay alive. Here comes the stim in, trying to get those Colossi up
the mothership as well. He's going to get this last Colossus here. The first Colossus since the Robo was remade is now on the way, but it's just too much, and because he sniped the sentries earlier, it might have looked like a mistake in terms of that first fight, but with the follow-up, he wins the game. GG. Byun has one more shot, and Patience will be knocked out down to challenge after a pretty decent performance in SSL Premier. Just did not perform tonight when it mattered most.
Yeah, did not look this dominated, and me and Rapid, we were memeing throughout all of Season 1 that SSL Challenge was the best tournament in all of Korea, but there are some really fantastic players that came from there. Hero got in, didn't even have to play in Fast Lane, so he's going to be in Premier. We already got Maru coming up, who was able to get in there. Dark
looks much stronger.
Returning, but obviously Maru going in there. Deer was the first one to get in from Challenge. That was the one that I wasn't really expecting. But now it's going to be either Byun or Classic. And it's these 2 guys from Challenge that have a really good chance to make it into Premier in this final match.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting one. Who do you favor, though, after watching those games?
I think I still favor Classic, honestly. I think it's going to be really close, though.
I think I'm going to have to favor Byun, but before we go into that final match of the night, the final best of 3, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll see you guys in about 10 minutes.